Hello. I thought I would do a live video while I'm sitting here adjusting. Um, I can speak again, so that's awesome. I did spend a week. Ooh, it's weird hearing my voice. It's almost like it's a vibration feeling. I did spend a week teetering on the edge of epilepsy. I guess I did have a grand mal seizure, which is a full like roll through. It's like a kind of seizure where it lasts probably about what a seizure probably is supposed to last for, between like 1 and 5 minutes or so, like the actual seizure part. I don't ever, like, a week after it, I can barely remember that the whole several days happened, let alone like what the actual seizure was like. But I do remember thinking that day, I was like, uh-oh, something changed. And I got to thinking, I was like, okay. So, and what I mean by something changed is, like, I didn't wake up, like, having a panic attack or anything. So, my cognitive level is fine. And that is what has been going up over the past, like, what I had to drop down, close up the epilepsy, the wound, and then come back out of it, like having surgery, when they put you under. And so that's exactly, what I went through, while also having to pay my bills at the same time. So, that was a 2-year process. I have had people, be like, what? You're going through stuff? Like, what treatment? Like, while also, like my manager being like, oh, I thought you were on drugs. So very contradictory information, both super negative, but very contradictory. And even though, like, I am experiencing the absolute worst, medical situation that anybody I know, like, or will ever meet, like, on a regular basis, like, will ever meet in their lifetime. Still absolutely no empathy. So, anyways, I have spent the last week, of course, not even thinking about reaching out to anybody, because I've been in a constant state of fight or flight. Because I did end up having, this was June, I had the grand mal episode, which is an absent seizure. And then, like, say you go down into a space, it's because of I have functional neurological disorder. And so when my hormones change, that kicks in the functional kicks in a transition within, some, like, my hormonal state in my brain. And so that leaves me prone to that is the grand mal, like, episode. It's psychogenic seizure. It puts you into, like, a psychogenic seizure state. And in that state, I have a snap. And it does happen when I'm sleeping. I can't, like, I have had it happen when I was awake too. So it's getting down to where there's not really much I haven't experienced on, like, timing and stuff. It's weird. They're all different, like, because you can have 3 different situations, like, disorders happen, and depending on how they are attached to each other, what comes first is depending, like, they're completely different disorders. And that is really it's really wild. Anyways, so been okay. I was waiting for all that to happen. It wasn't really that surprising because I did mention on my Facebook I had menopause symptoms, like that would, it was all attached to each other. To where I had like 3 days of just like the teeniest tiny amount of menstruation blood, and I was like, okay, like, is this all that's happening? It happened for 3 days. That never happens. Like, I just usually just start my period like within a couple hours. Like, I might get a dot, and then within the next 5 hours I start my period. It does not happen where that happens for 3 days. I bled for 2, and then it was done. So compared to all the other months of the year, that's upside down. I usually start my period, bleed for 2 or 3 days, and that's all it's been the last 2 years. A huge menopause symptom. And then like those last 3 days, I'll transition to where I'm like, that's when I'd start shaking real bad during those 3 days. So that's not, like, I don't have epilepsy. That is, so I'm not supposed to be shaking. It's not, my body's not supposed to be addicted to my period. So this month, spot, bleed for 2 days. That is the normal way a human body is supposed to react to the whole menstruation cycle. So, because I don't have, I have hypothalamic issues, and so, sometimes I have extra hands, is what it is. Like, I'm not supposed to, nobody is, but especially me, it's not supposed to be, like, addicted to my female cycle. It's really strange. So hopefully that'll stick. Hopefully that'll stay. It should. That wasn't all, like, that hasn't been going on for a long time. That has only been happening in the last 2 years. Before that, I was having really, really difficult periods and stuff, and they were making me have a seizure. Like, I've had a seizure every single period for at least like 5 years. It literally does beat the brakes off of you, into a very real, description. It beat the brakes off of me so bad it made me addicted to my female cycle. So, that has nothing to do with anything I've done, like anything. Like, that is all an internal working thing. So, this is the best that it has been, but I am still having an absence seizure. It is in my sleep. It's so, on a positive note, I do know that my hypothalamus is in the best working condition overall. I felt better last year, like my being thinner. Like, I don't feel good being a little extra chunky and stuff, but I also have pretty bad anxiety, living alone and not having anybody that I speak to every week, every day, like at least once a week. I mean, there isn't anybody. So the past couple weeks have been well. I'm really appreciative to anybody and everybody that has taken the time to interact with me, because I do get people, here and there and stuff that just stop and will speak. And I hope to be able, I donate where I can myself, I am that type of person that likes to speak to people, and because obviously I know what it's like to be in a situation like I am, and also, you know, when like you have some words to offer, like who doesn't want to talk to somebody that knows their way around something that you don't, like, you know? So I am a fan of observations. I do that for a living. But so I am really happy about where my cognitive levels and stuff are at. I'm really happy about so far how I've bounced back from the antidepressant. It was really rough there. First 2 weeks, I didn't know where I was. So that happens because the transitioning state, just like my hormones, kicks in the functional neurological disorder part. And so, you know, I had to do a little finaggering. I had to drink some caffeine, eat a bunch, do a lot of exercising and stuff in order to kind of like kick my voice box back in. So that's good. But and also, like, as of today, you know, I'll go ahead and say, like, I'm about 3 or 4 days out from the end of my female cycle, and usually, before the medication treatment that I finally concluded, before that, I was shaking and, like, just space, like, you know, 1,000-yard stare. There we go. The 1,000-yard stare. I couldn't speak. I kind of like, I was intellectually disabled there for the last couple days after my female cycle would stop. So, really need it to be going and stuff. It is not time for me to not have a female cycle yet, but I'm really tired though, so that's no fun. My water did get cut off today, but other people's lives are more important than whether or not I can go lay in the bathtub at the moment, because I am, it's just that pattern. It is that period of the season. So, I have to keep going. I'm probably going to try to take a nap, and I should have it paid off by the end of tomorrow. It's just I'm having to go a little slower and take lots of breaks, and that means, and also, you know, sometimes I do spend hours, like, if I come across a question or something that I don't understand, that I feel is really important, like, I don't know that I'm spending 5 hours, because I've got so many different things, or spaced out is what I was going to say. I don't know that I'm spending 5 hours spaced out, because there's nobody around and stuff, and because I do have so much, I'm trying to calculate at the moment. Sometimes I drop it, so I've been trying to go slowly the past couple weeks, or not just the past couple weeks, the past 2 months. And I stopped taking the medicine. I worked through all that, and so just gotta, you know, keep going forward. I did prepare a little bit for the water getting cut off. I knew it was gonna get cut off and stuff. So, but I have never had the water cut off. This is the very first, and I have, you know, been living in a house alone for 22 years. So this is the first time that has happened in 22 years. I don't know about growing up. I never noticed. So, I have noticed a big change. I cannot think when the functional neurological disorder is kicked in. It's there all the time, but it's like, I'm thinking what, like, I haven't done a lot of videos or talking in probably about 2 months, and so I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. What I'm guessing is that the functional neurological disorder is the hormonal thing. That is like the diabetes. And I do have like a low grade hazy eye at all times. I always have. Even when it's not right here. If it's not right here, it's back here. Or, right there. So, there's other things in your body besides other hormonal systems, obviously, besides your female cycle, but like the female cycle and the other main two things, like the appetite side of your hypothalamus, and on the other side is your sleep-wake cycle and stuff, the diabetes and the narcolepsy. And then I'm getting hit from the front with my female cycle. And so, all of those three things together, those three sensitivities there, are unnerving. And it is very much like, a circus, because juggling is just one person doing something. But a circus has got all kind of different people, and situations and stuff, doing things at different time to create the whole entire, atmosphere of the circus. So, that is the functional neurological disorder and how it affects the different systems and stuff, because, the sleep-wake cycle has, one, like, situation, and then the diabetes side has a different set of, like, it's got your directly related to your pancreas, where the narcolepsy symptoms are directly related to your immune system, because that is something that I deal with, is my immune system goes up and down. When there's certain times of the month that my immune system drops, and I get sick. So that's a whole situation. There's a whole bunch of little different things going on at once. But yeah, I have to take a rester today a little bit, because I've got a little bit of mindlessness, numbness, I guess, kicking in, and my water's cut off, and I'm smoking my last cigarette. So I think I need to get some rest. I had 8 or 9 hours last night, but you would not know it. So, but it's not like a heavy, like, narcolepsy symptom thing. It's like, it's more related to a movement issue, where I'm like stressing myself out and so I need to zone out, kind of thing. Yeah. It is Thursday. It is not too terribly hot, but it is uncomfortably warm when you don't have air condition, and I do not have good air condition. I have my sleeping space cool, but you know, I really like the color green, and I just realized that all these green cigarette butts in the ashtray have little green rings around them. Well, I hope everybody has a good rest of their day.